The National Cabinet started out wonderfully well when this pandemic began, and I thought they did some really good work. But then the wheels fell off, and we've now got people like Daniel Andrews and Anastasia Palaszczuk working actively to undermine the national process. They basically put the middle finger up to the Prime Minister. Today he had to backtrack on trying to bring more Aussies back, didn't get what he really wanted. What do you think of the National Cabinet, the way it's performing right now?
I don't think it's achieving enough of what it should be achieving. I think the Prime Minister's right to claim some successes and movement, but I'm pretty unimpressed with what's going on. And by the way, if you want to see something that really, I think, just shows how we're being let down by our political leaders, I mean, they announced today that one of the big things was that they were actually going to share contact tracing information amongst the states, territories and the Commonwealth. Well, we're 6 months into this crisis, 6 months into this nightmare, and these highly paid people and all their highly paid staffs and public servants have finally announced they're going to do that. Give me a break. I mean, this is just ridiculous. They can do better, and they must do better.
Renee, your thoughts? Do you think the National Cabinet is something that, is progressively getting better, or is it progressively getting worse?
I do think that the problems in the National Cabinet continue to be highlighted as we continue into this crisis. And I think the real problem here is the balance between power and responsibility. And that is that these state leaders have a lot of power right now, but they're not the ones who have to pick up the cheque. They're not the ones who have to pay for the consequences of their action, which is leading to a real imbalance. And I think a lot of the premiers are actually acting like petulant children and need to grow up and realise that we are all Australians and we need to work together and actually act in accordance to, that saying that we keep hearing, which is we're all in this together.
Well, I can't see how we're all in this together, particularly when you see the antipathy between Andrews and Palaszczuk and Morrison in recent weeks. Campbell, 15 million, Edward Boyd, our finance editor, has come out with that figure earlier today. $15 million it's costing Queensland taxpayers to bring the AFL Grand Final to Queensland. It'll be the week before the October 31 election. And of course, the estimate on how much this will bring in economic benefit to the state is $18 million. Is it worth it?
I suppose a $3 million net gain is something you shouldn't overlook, Gleeson, but I'm being far too generous. It's a lot of money being thrown at an issue really for political purposes. We know what this is about. It's about the Queensland state election. It's about the old thing about the Romans did about bread and circuses, and the circuses come to town. I think now this is a political rotting albatross around the Premier's neck, because every time people hear about the AFL, and they're reminded of the inconsistencies about letting players in and their families to have a sort of a holiday resort sort of quarantine experience compared to people who couldn't get in to see their father in their dying days or even go to their funeral and that sort of thing, that contrast. So money that's been spent, no real return, but a political albatross around Premier Palaszczuk's neck.